you all for coming out. I think it speaks volume about the, excuse me, there's a lot going on and my voice comes in and out, so I apologize if you have trouble hearing me. I think it speaks volumes about the Champlain College students that you all are willing to take the time to come hear what's going on in the city. A little bit about my background. I'm Dan Smith. I am the independent candidate for mayor of the city of Burlington. I'm an attorney by training. I was born in a hospital up on top of the hill and I was raised in central Vermont. I attended college and law school at the University of Virginia. And after law school I came back. I had an offer from a firm in Boston, but I got a clerkship with a judge in Montpelier. Came back and realized pretty quickly that the only thing I liked about Boston, other than the Red Sox, was that it was 3 hours from Burlington. So I took a job with a law firm here in Burlington, practiced with them for a few years, and then went in-house with an organization called GBIC, which is the Greater Burlington Industrial Corporation. What GBIC does is focused on business outreach and policy development around the creation of opportunity for people in Chittenden County. Having grown up here, I believe very deeply that one of the chief challenges we have is the creation of opportunity for people to live, work, and raise their families in our community. We've struggled with it for a long time, and my hope is that we can build an administration that is focused on creating those opportunities for people. In the community, I chair the board of Mobius Mentoring. It's a nonprofit focused on mentoring. For the last 6 years, I spend every Tuesday down at Edmonds Elementary. Right now I'm reading with a second grader. My last mentee, I started in the first grade and read with him every Tuesday until he graduated out of the 5th grade. But it's been an incredibly rewarding part of my life and a great window in our community and into our school system. What's my vision for this city? I believe that in the 21st century, a lot of things that we've assumed are at cross purposes no longer have to be so. I believe that we can embrace sustainability and smart growth. I believe that we can embrace small business development and support for environmental integrity. I believe that we can care for our vulnerable and also support artistic and entrepreneurial freedom, and we can do all of that in the city of Burlington. I believe that every Burlingtonian ought to have the opportunity to live, work, and raise their family in an environment that keeps them healthy, keeps them safe, and allows them to succeed regardless of their background. I believe that city government ought to function as we expect it to. It ought to be fair, it ought to be open, and it ought to be effective. What am I going to focus on? What matters most to the students of Champlain College? Job creation. When you finish college, is there going to be an opportunity for you to stay here in Burlington? I've worked in the green economic sector in terms of building a strategy at GBIC around the production of the goods and services that allow us to reduce our impacts on the environment. I've worked with those entrepreneurs. I've worked with the entrepreneurs in the technology sector in the city of Burlington. Ted Adler's right out there. He runs a small company called Union Street Media, and he's one of my supporters. David Winslow at Epic One. Those guys expect a city government, or desire a city government that really respects the pace of change that they're dealing with in the economy right now. How does that also matter for Champlain College students? We hear stories about the new tech center that just went in out in Winooski. They had a month of turnaround time in order to make that investment based on a grant they received from the United Nations. The United Nations wanted to put money in Burlington and we couldn't respond fast enough. So they went and put it in Winooski. That's a capacity issue, that's a commercial square footage issue, and frankly, the reason we don't have the capacity and the reason we don't have the commercial square footage is because we don't have the zoning to accommodate it. We need to be forward thinking about what we can and can't do as a municipality, and we need to be fast enough to respect the pace of change that our entrepreneurs and our institutions are feeling out there in the community. I think I bring that different kind of thinking. As an independent, it's a very big challenge. Building this community, building this race from the grassroots, from the ground up. We built a coalition that is pulling young progressives who are worried about their downtown jobs, moderate Democrats who are worried about the education system in the city of Burlington, business-minded Republicans who are worried about job creation and opportunity down here as well. That coalition, I think, sets the table for us to build an administration that really is focused on different kind of thinking, creating different expectations for the city government. And I think if we do that, it's a much greater challenge, but if we can build that coalition and we can win with that platform, we can rebuild a city, we can rebuild a sense of common cause that allows every Burlingtonian, from the newest student graduate to the oldest family, from the newest refugee to the oldest family, from the most ardent progressive to the most committed conservative, allows every Burlingtonian to see this as a place of hope and a place of opportunity. So thank you very much for doing this. I appreciate the time, and I appreciate actually, one final thought. Why should you vote as students? You're here for 4 years. You're coming and going from the community. Don't just just cast your vote based on what your interest is today. But remember that there's somebody coming in as a freshman after you. Bear their interest in mind too, because what your interests are and what their interests are very much in line. So cast your vote on their behalf. Don't just stay out of the election. Engage, learn about us all. Check out our website at dansmithformayor.com. If anybody needs help registering, as I said at the outset, Jesse Bragg, my field director's here, right there. We can help you register. We've got the forms. And I think it's vital that students engage in this election because you have a lot of energy, a lot of vision, and a lot of great ideas. So I hope you'll turn out. Thanks a lot.